Welcome to the Lake Forest Podcast, a podcast about the lovely city of Lake Forest, featuring topics like local news, sports, music, people, food, and sometimes politics. My name is Pete, and I'm joined with the voice of the Lake Forest football and basketball scouts, Skoo Walker. How you doing, Skoo?
I'm doing good, Pete. Good morning. Happy Friday.
Cold Friday.
A
little chilly out.
Chilly out. Didn't get as much snow as the suburbs right below us, but
that's okay. That's why the south side's the south side and the west side is the west side. No offense. Right. But you know it's pretty balmy, Skoo?
Yeah, probably. It's not really balmy
Florida.
Not balmy right now.
Shark Guy Beach Fishing is a premier South Florida beach fishing experience out of Longboat Key, Florida. Their world-renowned captains not only put you on the fish, but they'll help you and your family make a memory of a lifetime. Check them out on Facebook or at sharkguybeachfishing.com to schedule an outing. Skoo, Shark Guy is your guy for your next charter.
I hope they're paying you a lot of money to rattle their name off.
in advance. Just go on Patreon /Lake Forest Podcast for all you interested advertisers out there. Hey, we got Florida here. All right. We also like to say, hey, we're thankful for our other Patreon supporters. Reverend Luke Back from the Church of the Holy Spirit. Matt A, Elizabeth B, Costa, Upstairs, Lance, Otto, and Artie M. Artem. We love Artem. Okay, Skoo. Sort of a busy week. Mildly busy. We have Go Real, Go Grass. That is the late.
More yard signs.
Oh God!
It's not one thing to bitch about; it's another, and obviously, certain citizens just don't learn.
Well, who's to say? Hey, if you want to bitch, I guess.
No, you can bitch all you want. It's just, it just doesn't make any sense.
I think this is, it's a good hobby, I guess. Bitching can be a hobby. So if this is your hobby, Go Real, Go Grass. Let's give them a little plug. GoRealGoGrass.com. This got put up.
Well, no. We're not going to give any plug.
Oh, we're not? Okay. We'll edit that out in post.
Oh, you can do it. I'm not. I think that it's crazy.
Well, I invited some of the people to come on.
And let me guess.
Yeah.
They don't want to come on and talk.
Wait, hold on. Crickets. No, yeah. We'll see.
They probably bitch behind the keyboard as opposed to coming on and talking or showing up at meetings.
Well,
and complaining.
I
think there were some there.
Oh yeah. Well, certain people that I reached out to, I did not see them at that meeting. I was at that. I could be wrong because I have been wrong in the past, Skoo.
No way.
But my percentage for being right is a lot better than it was in college, so I feel better about myself. But anyways, they got I'll put a picture on the podcast here. Yeah. I was just trying to get a feel here. This is what's going on. We're going to see these lawn signs.
That's fine. Well, hopefully lawn signs, because I just love the lawn sign business is just booming.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Will be.
My take on all this, Skoo.
Yes, sir.
No more lawnsigns.com.
Hashtag.
No.
Hashtag.
No, sorry.
You don't get anywhere unless you have yard signs and a small group screaming and hollering, and then the multitude of different hashtags about the world coming to an end.
Well, because I'm a community activist, Skoo. I said, what can I do to help this community? You know, it just makes sense to me that if you need 14 different approvals to get the right doorknobs on your house
that you're paying for,
that there should be some type of committee that says, hey, you know what? We don't want our lawns to look like Schaumburg.
Schaumburg. Well, that's no offense to Schaumburg, but we can get a little
total
Park and every other community that just dots everyone's yard with yard signs.
Well, people move to Lake Forest to not be in Schaumburg or Arlington Heights or whatever.
I'm not sure
saying
anymore.
that.
I think people are moving to Lake Forest, one, because it's a beautiful community and has great things, but also because they want to change everything to where they came from. they weren't getting their way where they were, so like, we'll go to Lake Forest and try to force it down their throat.
I want a Benihana in Market Square.
Yeah, good luck with that. We can't get any of the places filled, let alone a Benihana. That'd be great.
But if you want lawn signs all over the place, buy one of the Lake Forest podcasts. No more lawn signs. Lawn sign. That's all I'm saying. Sign the petition. It's out there. We'll put it right here.
That's the other thing. A petition. We got to get a petition.
Oh, there is a petition. It's out.
I know there is.
I put it out there. I put it out there last night. But all right, let's get back to the these
the Go Green. Green.
Do you want to call us a habit? Like, is bitching a habit?
I guess lately.
All right, let's help their habit.
I guess my thing is, if you're going to do that, at least have a solution that's viable, not just throw out all these ways that our world's going to die. I mean,
all right,
if we do that.
Well, okay. In full disclosure, I personally have played on some of the worst turf that there is. I've played when the thermometer on the turf was 130 degrees and they didn't let us get water. Okay. That's what I came up with. So all right. And I got the fake hips and knees to go through it. It's like I'm a terrorist going through O'Hare, getting wanded down. But here we go. Go real.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead. I'm going to hold back. I'll let you finish.
No, come on. Give it to me. Both barrels.
No, I think, there's some validity to, some of the stuff about turf. But again, I mean, when you're just going and clicking on and Googling bad turf and bringing up all the downsides of it and then posting it and, oh God, this city's horrible for what they're doing. And you don't look at the other side and educate yourself on the other side of it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an issue with me. And, this is the other thing I have the issue with is, well, there's a lot of things I have an issue with, is to educate yourself. But all these people, I would love to have a conversation with all these people and educate them on the history of this field, this area. And, this is called progress and evolution. And, it seems like Lake Forest is falling in this trap of not wanting to progress and evolve our community and would rather have just spend oodles of dollars keep doing stuff that doesn't make sense anymore. And, the funniest thing is, these freaking arguments on this is, the fireworks display, I can't, wear my high heels there anymore. And I have to get new technical shoes to wear on the turf. And here's my thing is that the fireworks display, has seen very soft grass from rains and all that. And when you were going to the fireworks display in years past and you were wearing your high heels, you weren't sinking into the turf, into the ground. Oh, come on. I mean, this is just absolutely asinine. These people screaming and hollering about stuff that, yeah, I get it. I understand all the environmental things with it, but it's going to cost more money to go back to grass. And that horse left the barn 20 years ago. And that's why the rec and all that in the city decided not to maintain fields anymore. But again, why educate ourselves on the past and all this and the evolution of this master plan, and let's attack right away how the world's coming to an end. And I would advise all these, screaming meanies, green meanies, to, take a look at the high school, the football field. Let's see, that turf has been there for probably 10 years now. They've played football, all levels. They've played soccer, all levels, girls and guys. They've played field hockey. They've played everything you can think of sport-wise, practice on these fields and all that. And last I checked, no one's died from cancer or anything like that. And oh, by the way, and the injuries, I can guarantee you, well, first off, I'm not a doctor and I'm not don't pretend to play one, but I did listen to one of the top orthopedics in the area at the last meeting say the injuries are not significantly more than grass. They're basically the same, if not, a little bit less. But God forbid we listen to, the experts. True. We just want to hit the button and scream bloody murder that the world's coming to an end. Here's my thing. You know what the city should do? Sally, you're the executive director of the rec, Parks and Rec. Stop having the meetings. Go ahead with the rec board and all that and make the decision, vote on it and pass it up to the city council, because every time we engage the community, it just stalls and goes nowhere, because people that aren't engaged, I call them the kid haters, because, this is only happening to help youth athletics in our community not only compete, but play at a level with other communities. But if you're against it, you must not have any reason about the kids and, playing on safe fields and all that. And the turf is safe. It's there's probably long-term issues, but we don't do stuff because of the 100-year out dilemma that it may cause. Come on. I mean, it costs more to maintain the fields with it being grass. And oh, by the way, if it is grass, all of the green meanies that are wanting to go grass, guess what? You got to put chemicals on the field to maintain it so there's not weeds and they can be played on. So what are we going to argue about that? As soon as if you do go grass, we're going to start arguing about that. And then you have a cow pasture. And then you're back to square one with the fields ruined. And now what do we do? So take a look and learn more than just clicking on I hate turf and then passing through everything and then rustling up people to, fight
They're
about
bored.
something
They're bored.
that's not. And here's the other thing, which I think is even more of a travesty. And I hope it's not true, but I'm just speculating.
Yeah.
I'm just speculating here that, again, understanding how this process works is a tantamount. And, for the rec board, what they're going to do is they're going to vote on whether to proceed on part of this master plan, which I think they should do and move it forward. But it's advisory, so they have to pass it to the city council for final approval. Okay. I hope, and I kind of tend to believe that there's some shenanigans going on at the voting level of the city council that, people are getting involved in the lower parts of these, kind of egging this whole stuff on. And I think that is, if that's happening, because I'm speculating, and it's my opinion. If it is, one, shame on those people that are making decisions for our community, because they are the end all be all when it comes to passing stuff. If they're any way behind this and encouraging this, they should be recusing themselves from that voting process. I don't care if you are. If you are, that's fine. If you're an alderman and you're favoring, not doing the turf field, and you don't have the ball stand up and say it, but you sit behind the scenes and you encourage all these people that, one, probably don't have any kids in the sporting events that they use with the city. and two, you're just encouraging it. You should be recusing yourself. We're recusing yourself. That basically means I have a personal stake in this, so I have to remove myself from that decision-making process. Do that, I'm good. But if you're behind the scenes, which again, speculating and have heard, there's a couple aldermen that are, they should be recusing themselves of that. And I don't think that will happen because, it's just, people are on this righteous stage that think that, I'm
They're
right.
bored.
I'm in a position where I can make a difference, and now I'm going to wield my magic wand. So here's the thing. I hope it's not true. Wouldn't doubt it, because I've seen the past with some other issues that happened to the city.
Yeah.
Now, better not be, and if you are, you better recuse yourself, because if you're drumming this up, your one should not only recuse yourself, maybe step down, because that's called a conflict of interest.
Oh, conflict of interest. COI.
And the city does everything they can. And I'm not going to say the city, because a lot of people, at least people I've talked to lately, seem to get mixed up with the city staff and all the decision-making of boards and commissions. So when I say city, I'm talking about the city staff, and they do a phenomenal job. Everything they do is all for the city and doing the right thing, contrary to what some people think. But, we got to start looking at stuff. And, with this whole turf thing, I mean, we're trying to appease people because having community involvement with discussions. Listen, you and I both were at the turf field community meeting. I thought was okay. Boy, sure wish there was more people there, because there's a lot more people, it seems like, that are against it. But, when your opportunity comes to discuss and ask questions, show up. And I know there's another meeting coming up in February, a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Basically a update type of thing. Here's my thing. Jason, I know you're listening.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is. Sally, just call off the meeting. You guys don't need to have this public meeting anymore. You know what the decision is. You know where you want to go with it. You know the ramifications. You know all the stuff you need to know. You don't need to know more people bitching and moaning and wasting time and wasting energy on this. Go ahead. Paul Best, chairman of the rec board, go ahead. Next board meeting, vote on it. Make a decision. And you know what? That's what the rec board's there for. If you guys vote against it, fine, move forward. If you vote for it, fine, move forward, push it up to the city council, let them vote on it, approve it, disprove it. But I tell you what, if it gets there, that better be a clean slate of non-biased voting. We got to stop it. It's just crazy.
Well,
no time. People have no time. You're right. They're bored, nothing to do. But boy, I tell you what, screaming from a keyboard, oh, you're having a podcast and, it's all, against the community. No, it's not against the community. Again, it's not against the community. This is something the community doesn't have.
No, the community's talking about it. They're talking about it.
And the issue is, and here's my rub on this, because I do it for fun and I love the city, and if we can help businesses and all that, great. There's more power to this. But you know what? If you have a disagreement, come on. The invite's there. Just come on and let's talk. We're not going to crucify you and I'm afraid to come on. I don't want to come on.
I don't have my facts. I don't have my fact checkers.
Well, it's not even fact checkers. It's like, I don't want to come on and, I'm afraid I might. No, don't be. We're having a conversation. And you know what? I can be completely wrong on half the stuff, but you know what? I'm willing to talk with people. Love to. And show both sides of this, but no one's looking both sides. And it's just, and it really pisses me off that, I hear stuff and I just, it better not be true about the council. Better not be.
What?
And that these people better not have little hidden agendas, because that just derails.
What?
That's called progress. We're not progressing.
Before I get into my rant, what is their incentive, Skoo, to do this? Are they bored too, or there's no other issues in town that they can focus on?
I think there's personal agendas. I think these, again, I'm just going to say
your opinion,
my opinion, and I think there's there's a personal desire for some, I think, to be mayor and feel that's what the next evolution step for them. I think it's I think they're anti-progress and they don't really want to admit it. So they're going to stick their heels into these, pots and stir them. Yeah. I don't know. I don't get it, because here's my, to get back to everything we talked. Here's my thing is, you know what? The caucus interviews and puts people on these boards and commissions that are supposed to not have an agenda and want only to do good things for the community and help the city staff do their job successfully and make our community a beautiful community, right? But it seems like as these people evolve on different boards and commissions, and then they get up, really, I don't know, I might be wrong on this. There's only maybe 2 other boards or commissions that actually have taxing authority. I can't be sure, but the council is the only one. So you're pretty, and the mayor doesn't wield that much power. It's the aldermen, because they vote. And so it's a pretty powerful position. And, if you're swaying stuff, and a lot of these, I've heard this before, councilmen think they're representing only their ward and their constituency. That, no, you're not. Yes, you're part of whatever ward you're in, but you're looking at the overall benefit of the community and moving the community forward and a whole bunch of other things besides my little constituency. And, if that's the case, some of these aldermen shouldn't even be involved in it, because the rec is in the 3rd ward. And honestly, you know what? The 3rd ward aldermen should have much higher, pull than supposedly these ones that are behind the scenes, pulling strings and stirring pots. Again, I don't know if that's a fact, but I've heard stuff and I've seen stuff. I have my eyes are open and I see stuff. And, so my whole thing is, that's great if you want to create all these groups and hashtags and yard signs and
yard signs.
Every time there's an issue in the city, we can't progress. We have to have another opposing side to stuff that screams and hollers, and we can't progress. And that's the whole, look at Costco, Whole Foods, the gas station, everything is progress. And we can't seem to get, because we have to have people screaming. But then again, those people are afraid to, speak in person and speak in person, but also rationally. And not
objectively.
And not lose your freaking mind when you don't agree with someone. My thing is, Sally, just stop the meetings. Paul, call a vote at the next meeting and let's get this thing moving forward. You don't need any more community input. It's just, you're going to have a meeting in February and you're not going to learn anything out of it, except, God, there's all these people now, the world's ending because Lake Forest wants to put in a turf field to help the kids and help all the sport programs that are kind of struggling right now from a playing field standpoint. Yeah. And, and by the way, here's the other thing, Pete. I'm sorry. You got me going.
Go.
Again, part of the education, I think, is, some of these, I guess they're women, but I don't know, but when they say,
wait, can you say that anymore?
I don't know, but I'm assuming because some of the rants were about wearing your high heels at the
Oh,
fireworks thing, so I'm assuming they're women. But here's the thing, you know, the fireworks is the wonderful thing about the fire. It's a great community event and all that, but that's sponsored by the Friends of the Park and Rec. They're the ones that put the money into it. They're the ones that run it and all this. Oh, guess what? You know who is sponsoring and seeing through with the rec board, the turf fields? The Friends of the Park and Rec. So, I mean, all you people screaming, it's like, you know, so if there are turf fields and you have to wear tennis shoes, there's no special shoes you have to wear. It's like, wear tennis shoes. Why the heck are you wearing high heels to a 4th of July event outside? And, you know, that's fine. You can do whatever you want. But I also got to say, I think with a wink, that all this discussion about that has already been taken care of by the rec and the group they're working with and the board. They'll have a plan to still have the fireworks and all that. You might have to wear tennis shoes, or you might have to go barefoot, or you might have whatever, but let's not blow this out of proportion. Like, you know, the whole field is going to blow up if you can't wear high heels, you know, to the fireworks display. I mean, come on. I mean, originally you couldn't have alcohol there at the events. So, I mean, the same thing. There's certain things you have to. So I think, again, way blown out of proportion. I think they're trying to derail the process, so it just kind of flounders. And I just think, you know, time to just move forward. You know, the rec, the city staff, commendable job with all these big projects that have come through, and I've been a part of them, where we've involved the community for input. And they've gone through and successfully. But nowadays, it's like, you can't involve people anymore, especially when you don't have to, because it's just a path of just struggles, and you never get anything done. And that's what I think this is all about, is let's just, you know, keep floundering. And now I think it's time the rec board just says, you know, call a vote. We're going to do it or we're not going to do it, and move it forward.
yeah.
We don't need any more community involvement. Waste of time, waste of money.
Waste of time, WOT. Okay, Skoo, that's 57 years talking. Here's three years talking. Here's what I see. And there is a slight, and I do mean slight, possibility I could be wrong. But here's what I see. All right. Confirmation bias. Okay. You want facts? Go out and find them. You don't need the whole research article. You just need the abstract that tells you what you want your side to look better with. But here's my take. I and you, we were at that first meeting. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yawner as it was. Okay. It was an attempt, you know, whiteboard, suggestions up on the board, snooze fest. I did see aldermen there. I did not see, now correct me, slight chance I could be wrong. These people that are putting up this green site, I didn't see any of those people at that meeting. Did you?
I don't know who they are, but yeah, I didn't see. I know I was at a table with one lady who was, I'm going to guess just by her comments, is part of it. But okay. You know, I think the aldermen that were there.
Well, the emails that were sent to me with screenshots of the people that are making comments, they weren't there. Okay. They were not out. Believe me, they would know if I was there, and I know they were not there. So number one, they want to cause all this and campaign, but they weren't at that meeting. Okay. Stroke number one. Stroke number two, I could be wrong. The people that are complaining or don't want this, they probably have Starbucks athletes in the household who they're they run back and forth from the Starbucks getting their creamy frappuccinos or whatever. and that's their athletic endeavors, or they are doing non-contact type of sports. So they have.
Go ahead. Sorry, right.
Continue.
No, I totally agree. I think they're the anti-kid sports. Sorry to say it, but anti-kid sports. They don't have kids. Either they don't have kids, one, involved in it, or two, they have kids that aren't athletes, which is no problem. But they don't. It's the people like that aren't. There's no stake in it for them. But yet, the stake is the world's coming to an end.
Their sport is they park in front of Starbucks, they open up the door and they let the kid run in.
Yeah.
And that's the 20-yard dash to get the order, and they come back. Okay.
Right.
That's
right.
Now, not all kids can be athletes, but if you're the parents and those are your kids shoving carbs down their throats and you're doing this protest, I don't even know if you want to call it a protest. Okay. Number 3, Skoo, it would be very funny, these people that are complaining about 4th of July, okay, that they're not even in town on 4th of July.
Oh, good point.
They're on their vacation home somewhere. That would be very funny if that were on social media, that you could say.
Oh, and to that point, I mean, I'm sure that's true too, and I'm sure that
wait, do you hear that?
Some of them.
Wait, hold on. Do you hear that? That's all the clicking of the deletes of the 4th of July vacation homes in Michigan being deleted.
Well, I'm sure there's also those people too that maybe might have been to one of the fireworks, or 1 or 2 or whatever, not been to every single one since they've been in existence. Again, I totally agree. I mean, it's just like, I know people that are sitting up on the hill outside the fireworks, because they don't want to pay the money to get in there. So now there's a crowd of people that sit up on the hill for free. And, it's like,
but I mean, what is that, a 20-yard dash? Is that 20 yards? Maybe, to go from your parking spot in front of Starbucks in to go get the order.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. That's the Starbucks 20-yard dash. Now I'm sure a lot of these
15-yard dash to what's the little place?
Einstein Bagel.
No, right next to Starbucks.
Oh,
has
Lululemon.
Stuff that you can't wear. But I love to see some Lululemon attire. So it might be a little bit more because they run into Lululemon first and then go get their Starbucks and back to the car.
No.
No, wait. No offense to Lululemon, great store. Everyone goes there. I mean, it's wonderful.
I don't think I can even. I gotta go sideways in there. Okay, so, but you know what? I got a feeling there's 2 types of class of parents of athletes. You got the 20-yard dash Starbucks parents for their kids. And then worse, the second class, a step below, is going through the drive-through of the McDonald's, right? You don't even get out of the car. Okay.
Or the kid that's going to get it for mom and dad.
They don't even get out of the car. Okay. So now Skoo, I got pretty much beat up on AstroTurf. Okay. And
this is an AstroTurf.
I hear you. Okay. I'm not either way. Okay. It's like that orthopedist said. I'd love to have him come on. Okay. Because I know these people on these green people. What do we want to call them? What'd you call them? Green Meanies?
Green Meanies. Remember what's the with Burt Reynolds?
Yeah. Okay.
Is it Green Meanies?
No, it's a green machine.
Green machine. I'll go call them Green Meanies. Green machine too mean, too big, too powerful.
I mean, maybe green ninnies, but I invite, hey, open invitation, you green guys, gals, Come on. They won't. Okay. They won't do it. So I really don't care.
Hey, Pete, let me just hear one thing
Yeah.
about, all these green stuff. Hey, you know what? I agree with a lot of the stuff that, hey, the disposing this stuff, how do you do it? This blah, 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 blah. I don't necessarily believe that it's, a kid playing football is going to get tackled on the turf and get cancer. A kid that they yell at, they're screaming on, oh, the injuries, the scrapes they get. Well, again, I don't think these people screaming about injuries and all that have kids that ever played athletics, because it doesn't matter if you fall and scrape your arm on synthetic grass or real grass and you get cut. You're playing a sport. You're gonna get, but to sit there and say it's, injury. What was that one lady that posted that yesterday? You sent me that injury.
Here,
buying special shoes is now, was it racially?
racial. Yeah.
Racial.
Racial.
Some kids can't afford special shoes, and they're called tennis shoes. And nowadays, everyone has tennis shoes.
Hey, man, you go to Payless
How do you
tape them
bring
up.
racial inequality into having turf?
Because they're bored. They are bored.
Oh,
all right,
my God.
Skoo, here. Go real, go grass. Okay, yes, the safe play for our kids, clean air to breathe. I don't. High quality, well-maintained grass fields. Okay, how much does that cost? Improving fields throughout our parks, clean and healthy watershed, fair process. Okay.
Fair process.
No to fiscally irresponsible all synthetic field design approach.
How is it fiscally irresponsible?
I mean, well, when you don't maintain the fields for 20 years, I guess you're saving money, but then you take a fastball off the
and guess what? You don't maintain the field, then what happens is no communities want to play at your field. So then your teams can't compete or play. And then, then the rec starts reducing programming because there's no fields. Oh, hang on a second. And that results in then kids going outside the community, or, parents now can't dump their kids at a rec sport because it's not there anymore.
And they can't even run to Starbucks. They got to roll through there. All right. PFAS, forever chemicals. PFAS. Okay, that's cool.
Okay.
Microplastics shed by synthetic turf. Okay.
Let's go to the high school. Let's check the high school with their football field and compare.
That's been there about 15 years, I want to say.
10 or 15 years, yeah.
And I'm like, all right, what happened? Is there any
nothing?
Nothing. Heat islands. What the hell is a heat island?
Heat island, yeah. God, we're gonna have heat island.
These are the same people that are vacationing at a heat island.
Let me just say something on the heat island. So the football team, the soccer teams, the field hockey teams, they play in the fall. And I do remember announcing these games when it was hot, 80 degrees in the air. And yeah, it's hotter on the field and all that. But you know what? The kids can play. And I don't think the school is going to put themselves in jeopardy and say, okay, it's 250 degrees on the field. Get out there and play. I never had any issues.
Hey, these Go Green Meanies or Ninnies or whatever they are, you go to a bout, there isn't one human being there. It's a bunch of chickens. Bored chickens. Nothing else.
I'm not going to waste time on this, but I can tell you the evolution. Anyone who wants to sit and talk with me on the evolution of the Deer Path Park field and decisioning 20 plus years ago not to maintain them. I was a coach during the time. I played during the times there. And, I was on the board during the time there. And there's reason why it's not grass anymore. And going backwards, the cost is going to be more than the turf. So, get your facts straight.
You know what? Get an activity to do besides the Starbuck Dash. Get your kids out there. Get them to do something, okay? Besides golf and swimming, is there any other? Not to put down golf and swimming.
Yeah, what are you doing to putting down golf and swimming? Those are great sports, and kids get exercise and they excel in those.
Well, you don't do it.
Swimming is a very rigorous sport.
Well, what about all the chemicals and where does that water go, Skoo, in the swimming pool?
I don't know, Pete.
I don't know, but if there's somebody bored out there, God, these Starbucks dashers, the people I'm talking about.
Yeah, and it's just again, it goes back to the decision makers and the two aldermen that were at the previous meeting that, in my opinion, should not have been there because they generate a bias. Or if they want to be there as I've heard they're as citizens and not aldermen, that's fine too. But again, if you're going to make your input and encourage people to beat the drum on something, then you got to recuse yourself, you two aldermen, from the voting process when it gets there to you. And I don't think that's going to happen. And I think people should call these people out on that because we
called them out on day one.
I know.
Why the hell are they there?
I'm calling them out again because
one of them isn't even re-upping, right?
Yep. And
one of them's quitting
and speculating that they're kind of around in this whole green meanie thing. And again, that's fine if you want to be, but recuse yourself from the voting. And the other thing is the alder person that is leaving should recuse herself if it comes to that vote when she's still kind of still on the board, because I just don't think it's a good thing. Rec board should hold off their vote until after June, when the council has a full slate of sitting aldermen. That's my opinion. But again, you can be you can call yourself an alderman and want to participate in these community events and drum up all this anti stuff, which is fine, that you have the right to do that. But you know what? Since you're a voting decision maker in this city, like only 8 are, if you want to take that side, that's fine. But you're supposed to be on the council with an unbiased view of things and vote consciously and an unbiased approach to what's best for the city. And if you're taking up a stance that is against progress and against what the city is trying to do, then you either should not be an alderman or you should recuse yourself when those involvements that you're part of come to the council for a vote. You should recuse yourself. There's one alderman at the I don't know if you remember the block that I'm not even going to say it. It's the McKinley Road project.
Yeah.
That because that's really what it is. It wasn't the other thing that's on the yard signs. I believe one of the first ward aldermen, I think he was first ward, recused himself from the voting process because he lived in the building. Well, that's fine. I applaud him for thinking that he should step away from that.
Yeah.
But, because you live somewhere doesn't mean you recuse yourself. So again, one guy did it and he didn't have to do it, but he felt like he did because he felt that way, which is fine. Some of these other people that are sticking their noses and stuff that they shouldn't be
bored.
Now we're no, they're not bored because they're
they want votes.
They're not aldermen. They're aldermen. They shouldn't be involved. It's not bored, Pete. It's borderline. You're sitting here getting your face. I want both things. I want to be a decision maker and also want to stir up the crowd to go vote my way. Well, that's wrong, and that's what's happening. If this is the case that I've heard that and it just for me, I was at the meeting, and I saw the two that shouldn't have been there, walking around and sticking their faces in all the table discussions, in particular my table discussion that
didn't come by me.
That had some green meanies, having a nice discussion we were having on it, and then ironically, as this is getting up closer and closer, now all of a sudden there's this, drummed up, hashtag thing going on. So I don't know if it's true.
Lawn sign.
Yeah, I don't know if it's true. I'm just putting 2 and 3 together. But if it's the case,
well, here, if they don't come on the show,
no, you can do everything you want, but recuse yourself when it gets pushed up to you for a final decision, because the rec board doesn't have final say. It's a recommendation to the council.
Hey, you two aldermen that are listening right now, come on this show and tell us we're wrong. Number one. Number two, all you green ninny lawn sign making, you're worried about the environment. Well, stop making those lawn signs and putting them up all over town. It's pollution.
Yeah, where do those go?
Yeah, where do those go, Skoo?
Those are plastic.
So sign our petition that says no more lawn signs in Lake Forest. We're going to put that through the city council. Number two, Skoo, we're going to put a survey up. Do you want grass turf or do you want the artificial?
Yeah, but Pete,
I just want to see.
No, I know, but here's the thing. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I don't want to say it doesn't matter what the community wants. It's what the rec needs for their programming and what they're putting forward for approval and all that. I mean, the rec board is the ones that vote. That's who we have put as a community in charge of, the master plan, doing all this stuff. And, the city staff determines if there's the budget there for it, if it can be done and how to fund it and all that good stuff. And, to be honest with you, the community, I don't want to say it negatively, they have a say, but don't have a say, because you could scream and holler and do all this other stuff. If it's voted for and it's to move it forward, it's done.
All right.
I mean, it's crazy.
You were on the rec board.
Yeah, I was. And if the rec board, along with the city staff, Sally and her team, have decided that this is the best approach, and from the funding standpoint, if the friends of the rec board are raising the money and doing whatever it is to take to do it, then done. And I have faith in the process and the city staff and the board, that they have done their due diligence with the consultant, with the group that's going to do this, and they want to move forward because it all makes sense. And all this green meanie crap, is not new. It's new to you and I and everyone else that hasn't been involved, which, I don't want to be involved, because that's what we have the city staff and the boards to do. And that's not new to them. They've already seen all this stuff. That's why they're trying to move forward with it, because they've balanced, positive and negative, and the positive is that to move forward. And that also includes cost and all that. So no, we don't need more people inputting. We can, you can do whatever you want, but it's just, it's not going to sway. Now, that's up to the rec board. Those members on the rec board need to vote how they want to vote. But you know what? This has gone on. It's crazy. It's nuts. It's, another way to derail progress in this community. And, if we want to have the community just deteriorate and people stop moving here because there's nothing here. And
there's nice fancy houses. That's what they want.
There won't be, Pete. If you're
and a Starbucks.
If you can't see progress, that goes to individual houses too.
Yeah.
If these numbnuts are on boards and commissions, turning down stuff, there's no progress. So it's just.
You need to jump through 14 hoops to get the right doorknobs on your house, right? You can't cut down a tree. You can't do all this other stuff. Why can you put all these stupid lawn signs up? That's all that I'm saying. Okay. Now let's get on to something positive here, Skoo, because a lot of good things. Well, here, a couple things. We had a lot of signings last week of the athletes. Right. Michael Gray got signed to go to Denison University. That is some good tuition right there. And like we talked about last week, our boy Max Turlap, Loras College in Iowa. Right. Tristan Kerr, baseball, Benedictine. Way to go. Jackson Shoemaker or Mocker, soccer, Worcester. Charlie Haydorn, wrestling at Ohio University. Way to go, Charlie. Michael Cassidy, lacrosse at Denison. Grace Gilleran, swimming. It's one of those swimming types. I bet you she's against the turf. Oh, I'll edit that out and post. No, congratulations, Grace. Leo Anderson, baseball. Johns Hopkins. Holy crap. That, you know what the tuition is of that place? I don't. Kathy Peterson Ross, soccer basketball at SUNY, Plattsburgh. Awesome. All right. So that's, I think, Wisconsin? In New York, my friend. That's
Plattsville. I'm thinking Plattsville.
That's the old Bears. So, hey, that's some good stuff going on out there.
That's awesome.
Way to go. Congrats to the parents. Now, I don't see a lot of Starbucks dashers here. Okay. So I wonder if these parents are on the Green Ninny program. I don't think so. That's just me. That's Mr. 3-year-old Lake Forest guy.
Oh, I bet they're not, because as those kids that are going on to other college sports, I mean, I can bet you some of those kids during their childhood played other sports through the rec and all that, and experienced poor fields and all that. So, or lack of field, I should say. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure they are Starbucks runners, because all these kids love Starbucks, but.
So how about Starbucks sprinters? Starbucks sprinters. We're gonna stand out there with a stopwatch. I'm telling you, 7:15, man, they are on fire running into that place. All right, Skoo. Thanks for listening to the Lake Forest Podcast. Please give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and smash that like button on Facebook, Instagram, and follow us on Twitter. And let us know what you'd like to hear about in the upcoming shows. Again, I'm Pete. I can reach at Pete at LakeForestPodcast.com. The link will be in the podcast notes. We thank our Patreon sponsor, Shark Guy Beach Fishing. They're the premier South Florida beach fishing experience at Longboat Key, Florida. Our world-renowned captains not only put you on the fish, but they'll help you and your family make a memory of a lifetime. Check us out on Facebook or at sharkguybeachfishing.com. Contact them today to schedule an outing. Skoo, Shark Guy is your guy for your next charter. We also like to say we're thankful for our Patreon supporters, Reverend Luke Back from the Church of the Holy Spirit, Matt A., Elizabeth B., Costa, Lance, Otto, and Artie M. Domo Arigato, Otto, and RTM. On behalf of my co-host, Skoo Walker, we thank you for listening. Cue the music.